Well, this one, boy, oh boy, what happened to the Buccaneers in the second quarter? 28 points. It was turnovers, 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 turnovers. Even Jeff Fain after the game was kind of getting on his teammates saying, you cannot turn over the ball that many times and expect to win. And he said Raheem Morris has been hammering that point on us at practice, and it was just bad. So we're going to talk a little Buccaneers, and our guest is not bad. She is good, and thank goodness that she is here. And she does tell it like it is. NFL.com's Jenna Laine, also on Sports Radio 1010, the Sports Mob with the gang, right?
Yes.
The gang. And she is here with us. Now listen, you know this Buccaneer team. You know that Raheem Morris has tried to dummy down the playbook, go over fundamentals, stop with the penalties and the turnovers, and it seems to me like it's getting worse, Jenna.
Well, and earlier this week, Raheem Morris and Greg Olsen both said that they were in fact going to simplify the playbook. They were going to focus more on fundamentals, which of course requires the guys to be a little bit more sound in their play. They have to be on point. And it looked like it was working in that, opening quarter of the game when they, scored on the opening possession of the game. That was the first time all season long. Yeah, they had the momentum going, and then all of a sudden we see the turnovers. And ended up being 7 turnovers, 3 of them which set up scorers for Jacksonville. So demoralizing loss to say the least, and you would think though that with a simplified game plan that these guys would be on point and they would be able to read their keys on defense, but unfortunately it just didn't pan out that way. They allowed yet another 100-yard rusher, this time to Maurice Jones-Drew, and of course those takeaways. You gotta protect the football.
I'm gonna put you on the hot seat, okay?
Me on the hot seat.
I'm gonna put you on the hot seat, Jenna Laine. What is it going to take, do you think? Now, the Glaciers are very quiet. They're very private. We really don't know what they're thinking because they don't talk outside the family. But what do you think it's going to take for Raheem Morris to keep his job, honestly?
I don't even know if it might be beyond the point of repair at this point. You look at it, you're coming off 10-6, and for the guys to start out the way they did, to open this season up, winning over New Orleans, winning over the Falcons, and then to drop the way they have. And you look at it, and this is a talented team, but, penalties, they're not getting any better in that regard. Turnovers, it just seems to me that it's just getting progressively worse. I don't know if they can actually fix this damage, to be perfectly honest. It might take a miracle. Winning out, which is going to be tough to do because that Carolina team proved they're no pushover.
Right.
And, of course, they're going to have to face the Dallas Cowboys, Atlanta again. I don't know. I think that we could very well be seeing Raheem Morris's last year in Tampa.
I honestly think so, too. And, whether it's fair or not, whether he didn't have any, he just had young guys, and yes, the Glazers didn't spend money and blah, blah, blah. But bottom line, 7 losses in a row in the way the team is playing. Josh Freeman, he looks like he was pretty banged up in this game on Sunday. I think he was hurting, but even if you take that out of it still, do you know that he leads the NFL in interceptions?
I know it was very close between him and Phillip Rivers,
Yeah.
but I think that Josh Freeman inched ahead of him today. That's crazy, especially considering, we had the 9th best touchdown to interception ratio in NFL history last year. To go from that to where they are now, it's unbelievable. And then you look at his receivers, Mike Williams, 15 touchdowns last year, and I believe he has 3 or 5 this year. I'll have to go back and check. That's just inexcusable. You look at last year, he was among the top 10 in receptions for 20 yards or more last year. He's not even in the top 50 this year.
Right.
And so with that, I think one of the things is I expected this coaching staff to coach these guys up a little bit better and to make them better. And we saw a lot of growth last year, but this year, stagnant.
And the one thing to try to end this segment, right now, who is the better quarterback, Tim Tebow or Josh Freeman?
Well, you know what? Tim Tebow is not turning the football over. We can dissect Tim Tebow's mechanics and everything and say that Josh Freeman mechanically, fundamentally he's better. But you got to go with the winner. You got to go with the guy that's 7-1.
All right, so you're going with Tim Tebow.
I'm going with Tim Tebow.
Tim Tebow. All right, Jenna Laine, we are going with you. Thank you so much. As always, you can listen to her on Sports Radio 1010, The Sports Mob with The Godfather, and also check out her work on NFL.com. When we come back, it's a little bit different. After the whistle, athletes, they are in business. A preview of Victoria Lim. She's got a special coming up this week on Bright House Sports Network, a different side to some of these Buccaneers. That's next.